Hey up YouTube. So a bit of a different video today. I'm in a camper van, but what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go through. So Stihl have just dropped a load of new tools on their website. So a little bit of an insider thing. I was talking to a chap who deals with the he does the AP, he does the cordless side of the Stihl, and a few takeaway points without going into the whole conversation. The AP battery range, so I'm guessing that's what we guys use the most of. I'm an AP battery user. That's the big blocky battery, and he says to me, the Stihl chap, that over the next 2 years the AP range is going to double in size and also what tools they're offering. And for me, I think that's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I'm an AP user. The point of this video, it's not me sitting here trying to sell you Stihl equipment or make you go to battery. I think so many people go against battery and become, petrol heads, where, somebody will put up a picture of a blower, a cordless one, and there'll be always somebody on the art, always somebody, guaranteed, like, petrol's better, cordless is crap, and I think it's because people feel like they're being pushed into it. I think if you've got a good set of petrol gear and there's no need for you to change, you're not bothered about the health risks, you're not worried about them, you're not, you don't mind the noise, you don't mind the smell of the petrol, and it's, more importantly, it's what's within your budget. You've got a good set of kit behind you, why would you change it? Then wait, because 5 years ago when I started and I was looking at cordless gear, there wasn't much about. There was, but there isn't as much as there is now. But now we are spoilt. Even I'll keep it to Stihl because that's what I know. I've got an Ego mower, but I couldn't tell you much about any of the Ego range. But the Stihl stuff, I do know it, and we are spoilt compared to what we've got now. Stihl has, it's got the AS range, the AP range, and the AK range. The AK range is the middle of the ground stuff. The AS range is like the little small batteries that normally plush into the bottom of the tool, so like the little pruners, little hedge trimmers. And the AP range is their professional range. That's what's marketed towards professional users. Now, I don't know in Stihl's world if professional is the same word as commercial, but well, that's what we've got basically. I think if you'd said to me last year or year before, is Stihl gear commercial? I think when I first started YouTube, I said it a lot. Stihl AP range isn't commercial rated, because I'm basing that off what I had, which was the blower. I think I had the blower. What did I have? I think I had the blower. I had the long reach hedge trimmers, which I went through 2 sets because they're just not very good. And I had the first gen of hedge trimmer, the handheld ones, garbage. But this year, well, the next piece of equipment I bought was the 135R. That was a major step up, because when previous to that, if you look at what AP range of trimmers there were, this one, game changer. The blower, okay, it's not a commercial blower, brilliant blower. I bought the HLA 135R, fantastic blower, a fantastic hedge trimmer, absolutely brilliant. So what I'm going to do is split screen, and you can see what I'm looking at, which is the Stihl website, and then you can sort of see it's all on there. I'm just going to breeze through and just show you what's new, and also have a little bit of a chat about each one. Remember, Stihl don't know I'm doing this. I'm not here to sell it to you. I'm here to say to you, this is an option and it will make your life easier. I think us as an industry, when I look at, I used to work around builders, decorators, and plumbers to an extent. Now don't get me wrong, you've got the TikTok plumbers, the TikTok electricians, you see, where that's how I'd be, where they are so polished, so organised, where they turn up, they've got all the pack out gear, everything's organised. You know, they've got to change sockets, they get a bag, it's all in a bag, nice and neat. When I was working around builders and plumbers and, you know, all that sort of stuff, it was tool bags, vans looked like they'd been rolled down a hill, so the contents were everywhere. You know, there was one, the vast majority of what I saw builder wise was just blokes turning up, you know, with a bag of tools, that's it. There was one chap there, and then another one came where he was a bit more, he was super organised. He'd come, chop saw on wheels, all the pack out crates, and this guy he was so efficient, so much more, I think he had a better quality of life, and, you know, he was more thought of because he was efficient. He had the tools to do it. He wasn't eyeballing stuff. You know, he could go to a chop saw, do it. But I think us as an industry, I actually think we're really progressive. Somebody has something. So, 3 traits here. Oregon mulching blade. So I'll put that up now. So Oregon mulching blade was the first like, what do you call it now? Like the first sort of fad where people were using it and people bought it and thought, oh, this is brilliant. I bought one, game changer. And then leaf grabbers. So you've got the Darlac ones, you've got all different ones. People were buying them, people were using them, people were seeing how good they were, and they were like, I need to get a pair of them. Cordless secateurs, cordless pruners, still have released one. They've got their little AS one, it's somewhere around here. I'll show you in a bit. So we are progressive as an industry. I think the majority of us, and it's like a little bit of a secret, I think the smart people know it, and I'm not saying that they aren't smart, but maybe not as forward thinking, but the people in the know that having equipment and tools makes their life easier. I know it, I think you know it because you're watching someone like me talk about it and other YouTubers, but having nice equipment makes your life easier, and that's what it's all about. I saw ages ago somebody had put a picture up of a cordless wheelbarrow. I think it was a Makita one. That was like the first one that they did, cordless barrow. And people put pictures, someone put a picture up, and he was like, how lazy do you have to be to use a cordless barrow? And I think he was hoping that other people would say, yeah, fucking bone. No, people were like, mate, I'd have one. If I had to do a lot of moving and stuff with the barrows, you get it, I would have one. It's all about making, we only get one body, we only get one pair of arms. I know I've not looked after my body as best as I should, not got diabetes, but you know what I mean, like, I should look after my body better, I shouldn't eat as much, but I don't want something that's loud, I don't want something with heavy vibration, I don't want to break my back every day to do jobs. If I could buy a machine, I would. That's the point of this video. Not to sell you, not to say go to Stihl. And, you know, I love me some Stihl stuff, but some of the products that they've done, I think, some of the price points as well. But we'll get on with it. So, like I said, we've got the AP range. I'm just scanning through it. These are all the new tools. There has been more, but I think they put, you know, if it's new this month, the previous months, they sort of get lost in the ether. So this is what they've dropped recently, and it's quite a lot in all fairness. They've dropped other stuff. The ones I'm going to focus on first is you've got the Hedge trimmers, and I think these are a major step up. I think no matter who you are, whether you are a die-hard anti-cordless person, I think by having petrol hedge trimmers, they're like the gateway drug. That's what people, I would say, recommend to get. And then when people get them, they're like, fucking hell, these are good. The long reach trimmers are brilliant. Okay, the 86s, they aren't the best build quality, but they are so much easier. They're so good to use. They're so handy. You know, I would say get a set of them opposed to trying to faff about up ladders. You know, they are a game changer. Even the HSAs, I think I got the 125s. So you can see these models here. It goes right up to the 150. They're sort of superseded what I've got. But they look a nice piece of equipment. They really do. I've seen this, and it's the 110 cordless brush cutter. It looks like the motor is at the bottom. Again, like my sort of ethos on tools, so I would always buy the biggest, most powerful one that I could. And I'll tell you why. Have some of my tea. I would much rather have a tool where so I've got the 135R, and I use that for whizzing around the edges of the lawns. It's always on power 1, never goes out of power 1, because that's enough for that job. So some people might say, well, why don't you buy a smaller one, and it's cheaper? So you save a bit of money. You don't save much, but you save some money. Now, I'd rather have a motor that doesn't run as hard, and you know, I've got it where if I need it, I can whack it into number 3, blitz an area down, opposed to having something which is lower powered, where I'm always running it flat out. That's how I see it. It's like with the power washer. I went for the biggest one I could afford with the most power, and I run that on half revs all the time because I don't need any more power. So for me, running it at half revs, it's better for the machine than me having a machine that's lower powered and cheaper, where I'm running the bollocks off it constantly. So, like I said, there's a couple of new things that don't really interest me. The big one is the edge trimmers, which I've just gone over. They've completely changed the style. So if you look at these ones, they're going a way more commercial, way better. They just look like, it looks like Stihl has really sort of upped its game when it comes to, you know, AP users. I think the problem with limited with the AP stuff is Stihl. So originally with their commercial range, so they had their commercial mower, which was this, and I think this is a good few years now. It needed the AP battery, the big backpack one, would drop in and click into the top. Now that's very good, because when you can change the size of the battery, you can add more fuel to it in essence. So with Ego, they've got their batteries that click in underneath, so they can have a 2 amp hour, 4 amp hour, 6 amp hour, 12 amp hour. You get what I mean? Still, the battery size is the same, so they've got to put more batteries in there. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the batteries are fantastic. I've not had one fail me, touch wood. But you are limited in terms of what size you can get. So I think Stihl's answer with the first gen of cordless was the backpack, because they could fit loads of batteries in there, and therefore you get loads of power and loads of runtime. But now with the batteries, with those batteries, that's good, but they're expensive. £1,200–1,300 for a backpack battery. You know, if they kept that same thing with the tools, so they did it with a leaf blower. So let me see if I can find it. So with their leaf blower, they had the drop-in backpack battery that just dropped straight into it, and so you see it there. So again, it's £1,200, whatever it is. So for the tool, I haven't got a price for it, but you got what I mean. So I think that's was Stihl's answers originally to getting around that problem, where they could put a bigger battery, you get more runtime, because that's, let's face it, anything to do with cordless, first question, runtime. So if they could sell you a battery that, you know, big, but it runs a long time, but now with the AP range, how it is, completely different. It's capped at that. I've seen in the States, they've released backpack, or they've teased backpack blowers, where instead of it being this style, it's running off the AP and they click into the top. So they're sticking with the AP batteries. At the moment, their most powerful one is the 500S. But in the future, I've noticed, you know, the bigger stuff, we'll get onto the mowers in a bit, they're twin batteries. So as you can see, so another thing I was saying about with price point. So you've got the BGA 160 for £300, and you've got the BGA 250 for £44 more. I would buy the bigger one. That's just me. And you can see before, the first gen of, you know, commercial gear from Stihl, it all had the tethered system where everything was tethered. So, you know, they're changing it up how they do it, and they're sort of going away. That's the blower that I've had, the 86. Fantastic blower. It's been perfect. It's just battered. So let's get back on to talking about what I want to talk about, which is the mowers. So it'll be interesting. Let me just see if anybody's put a price up for them yet. So sometimes tool companies will come up, they'll put a price up. So even though it's not released yet, they will put a price up for it. But it doesn't look like they've got a price up yet. No, but you can see off the price there that, you know, I haven't got the prices up, but they're all out of stock. But you can see the prices there, you know. It's, if you want the batteries, you know, that big battery, it's a lot. It really is. So yeah, you've got the, which one's that? You've got the AP, the big AP battery by the looks of it. So yeah, the 3000 hour battery is, you know, 1400 quid, but an AP battery is about £400. So I can see why they're doing it. I really can. I've got 5 batteries this year. I'm looking at adding 2 AP 500 batteries to the fleet of batteries. So for me, I'll have enough batteries to run a machine, you know, for what I need it for. So let's just have a look at the new stuff. The big one is, so let's have a look at the smaller one of the two. So the 750 cordless lawnmower. Now, when I spoke to the guy at Groundsfest, he said to me that they've done a complete, from the ground up, cordless mower. Commercial cordless mower. Those were his words. That, you know, he says, whatever ego I've got, this will kill it. And I don't know spec to spec, but when you look at it, I don't have that just yet. It's a shame, really. I'm not trying to bin on Stihl, but you know, they've put the listing up, and they've put it, you know, well, they have got a video, but I won't show it because it's our video. But all this stuff on the website, it looks a nice piece of equipment. You know, you can't deny that. It looks nice. It's got, by the looks of it, you know, it infuriates me where they use pictures. So that's one is off the commercial mower, the big 26-inch mower. You know, so it's not even the same mower. They haven't even got the, I know it's a you know, they won't have it, but for me it's just put all the pictures out. You know, if someone's going to drop £2,000 on a mower, they want to start thinking about it now with as much information as they could now. But don't get me wrong, it looks a nice piece of equipment. By the looks of it, they've got rid of the the handlebar that adjusts all the wheels. This one does it all individual, which I am more interested in, if I'm being honest with you. It's got the mulch plug, so they've gone away from... So with the new batch of Stihl mowers, they've got the selector switch, where you've got like a little door that comes over. It looks like they've gone back to the traditional mulch plug attachment. Again, is there a reason for that? You know, who knows? It's still got the monochrome handlebar, which I do like. Some people fret about them and say that they aren't very good. They are. They really are really, really good. I've had it where, you know, I've took my 21 mower downstairs, and I do try and be careful, but it does bang, so it's putting loads and loads of pressure on that joint there, and it's not broken yet. It is. But as I said, it looks a really, really nice piece of equipment. Now, the big one is, and like I said, I'm not here to sort of... At the end of the day, whatever price it is, if you can fit it in with your business, it doesn't really matter so much. So for me, looking at this mower is 2,100. So realistically, you'd probably be paying round about 1,900, 2,000 from a dealer. And that's crazy to think about it, because that's tool only. So if you want to put 2 AP batteries, which is recommended, you've got another 350, 400 quid. So you'd be paying, you know, 2,700 pounds potentially for a mower. Now, I could be wrong. They might change the price. They might do it where, you know, there's a deal where you buy one of these mowers and you get the AP batteries thrown in. Doubt it. But it would be nice to think that you could get that. So, looking at what information there is, I've seen other information teased of it in the States. Not seen anything of it, people using it. Just the fact that people have shown it and shown what it can, you know, on a stand sort of thing. Now, would I buy something like this? I've always said I've been on the hunt for a commercial rated mower. I want a battery mower that I can use all year round. Now, the big thing for me is that thing on the back, that black box, and it's a fabric grass bag. The fit, this is what frustrates me with Stihl. And don't get me wrong, if you look at like the build quality of it, it's all very good. But the thing with Stihl is, and I can guarantee if they ask 100 end users, commercial, right, we're doing a new commercial mower, guys, do you want a plastic box or a fabric? I reckon the majority of them will pick a plastic box, because they understand that's just going to make a dirty cup of tea with oat milk. They understand that is what gives them that bagging ability. I bag on, no pun intended, about Stihl mowers because of their bagging capability. And for me, I would have loved it if they would have had a Stihl, you know, if this mower would be a plastic box mower, because I know it would be amazing in the wet. I could be wrong, it could be, don't get me wrong. Now, another thing as well is I would love to demo one of these, but there's 2 local dealers near to me. One of them might get one of these in on demo, because they do sell to more of a commercial crowd. But the other dealer won't, because he sells mainly residential. So there's no way he can justify getting a machine like that in. But it would be nice. I would demo it. It's a lot of money. £2,000. Well, let's just say it's going to be £2,000. It's a lot of money. So I don't want to talk too much about it anymore, because realistically, we all know the limitations to it is the price. If that thing was at 1,200 quid, it would be a different kettle of, well, even then, but you know what I mean, it would be a different kettle of fish. I have noticed that if you look at all the commercial mowers, whether it's Toro, Hater, you know, Honda, they still make mowers, they do, you know, Husqvarna, all their commercial mowers are around about the £2,000 mark. So I can understand why it's kept at that, but it is a bit steep, especially for, you know, us end users. So I'll breeze through a couple of things. I've left this till last deliberately, because I know viewership goes right off at, well, probably gone right off now. But anyway, the things for me that I like the look of is the AS range is growing bigger and bigger. That's something else he told me. You know, AS power bank and charger, you know what I mean. They've got the little power washer I've seen. They've got the little cordless air compressor. I need to replace my little hedge trimmers. They've got, long story, I've talked about it. So I need to replace them. So I'm going to be looking at getting probably an AS system. And would I spend 84 quid to get a compressor from a van that runs off the same batteries? Yeah, I would, if I'm being honest with you. I like the convenience. The thing that baffled me is, I don't know if it's here, and you know, I can understand it, but I can't understand it. And to be fair, I've seen reviews, but so they've got the GTA 40, so runs off 2 of those little AS batteries. Versatile, powerful battery-powered pruner for professionals. That's the same wording that they use with their commercial stuff, the AP range. Now that's 249 quid. But for me, I would buy, you know, I don't know much about top handle saws, and I know they're different. And I know a top handle saw, you know, this is going to be vastly more, maybe, dangerous to use, you know, and more professional to use than, say, the little 140. But again, I've said this a lot, I would buy the top handle if I had use for it, opposed to, you know, the GTA 40. I've not seen, there's Machinery Nation have put a video up of it, so I've not seen it. It could be amazing for all I know, but it could also be a bit of a lemon. Like I said, the use case is completely different. It's, you know, which is going to be sort of, you know, it depends where you want to spend your money and, you know, what you want to spend it on. So, like I said, not here to sell you stuff, not here to endorse Stihl, not here to sort of, you know, tell you which way to go necessarily. It's to give you options. I think no matter what it is, whether it's petrol, battery, if it makes your life easier. The one thing I've noticed for me is switching from petrol to battery. For me, I don't miss the petrol smell. I don't miss handling petrol. I don't miss mixing petrol. I don't miss the noise of it. I am an earphone user, but even with earphones, you could still hear it, and it was still loud. So I don't miss any of that. The one thing that people always bag on about cordless stuff, and I think I can't understand the arguing against it, but is, what do you do if you run out of battery? Well, excuse me, darling, do you mind if I just plug my battery into charge? They're either going to say yes or no, but, excuse me, love, you got any petrol in your garage? No. No one has petrol. No one has a petrol pump in their house unless they're super rich, and I've never encountered it. Everybody's got a plug socket. Everybody, or most people, have got outside plug sockets. So that's what I sort of base that sort of thing on. So I hope this video is helpful, guys. I hope it proves helpful. So have a good day. Keep on gardening.